Can I hear you? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, brother.
Okay, great.
Yes, everything's good. Everything's good. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode with Brother Neil Frazier, aka Metamorphosis. America on Trial, the 2026 opening of the Akashic Records. Wow. When I saw the title, I knew this was going to be dope, which means something good, nothing illegal. And I want to welcome in Renee Green and Queen Sister Diane. Always an honor and a pleasure with you being here. And it throws a certain divine feel to the whole presentation with you being here with a divine feminine energy. And I appreciate you so much.
That is a fact.
Yes, yes. Brother, how are you doing today? I just finished stuffing my face. So every time I stuff my face like that, I start sweating. It's a little hot in here. Got all these lights in front of me. So bear with me as I wipe my face with this towel. But it's a good kind of heat.
Yeah, man, I know how it is. Well, not know, but I've heard how it is out there in terms of, you know, the heat, the intensity of it.
Yeah. And, very intense.
In Ghana.
But it's good, though.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
When it cleanses you, you sweat out. And then when you sweat again, once you're clean already, it's just business as usual. Zero latitude and zero longitude. So whatever that means, it's good. I'm there.
Well, we know it means something good, bro. And I just want to greet everybody under the sound of my voice today. Happy New Year to everyone. And as I was talking with Lance earlier, this is something that really is going to kick off our year. We know there are a lot of different things that have been, you know, shot at our people and continue to do so. But we always have the answer. All we have to do is remember who we are. And the answers are always there, like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. She always had the means to get home. All she had to do is tap her heels 3 times.
And that's something.
But she went through all of that because she was not aware that she had this power. So, yeah, once again, brother, always good to be with you on Monday and the family. And if we want to start out with that banner that got me hyped, we can hear what your conception of what we're talking about today.
All right, let's put this banner up. Let me I did it with you in mind because I knew how deep this subject would be for you. And I said, you know, I felt guilty from last week. I didn't have a chance to really, because I came in at the last minute and I didn't have a chance to really go in like I wanted to. And the title of the show, America on Trial, the 2026 opening of the Akashic Records, the banner basically says the same thing, but I did it to be eye-catching for those who don't know by putting in a little more on the thumbnail title. And I try now to keep the thumbnail hook title shorter and maybe different from the actual title that explains what it's all about. But even though still many people don't know about the Akashic Records, and so I wanted to be intriguing, and I wanted to build some tension because I said within the Akashic Records, nothing is hidden. America cannot hide from its sins. That wraps it up where somebody who doesn't know about this will be intrigued and say, wait a second, what do you mean America can't hide from its sins? For those who are in denial, and even those who know America has a lot of sins on its hands. And so now we look at the title and you say America on Trial, the 2026 opening of the Akashic Records. So therefore, somebody who doesn't have any knowledge of it at all will know that there's something in the Akashic Records that will put America on trial, and America can't hide from its sins. Let me watch this. So now I have the image of a melanated man looking into a book symbolizing the Akashic Records. But the bottom line is that the Akashic Records, it's not a physical book. It's nothing you can destroy physically. It's something that is in the air, in the cosmos. It's something on a different plane, and it remembers everything about every body, every thought, every action, everything you've ever done, good and bad, whatever it may be. It's a complete record of our existence on all levels with all species. So we can't get away from it. In man's law, you know, you get a good lawyer, you can beat the charges if you have a good enough lawyer that can bend, bend the rules, bend the laws.
True.
So you can't get away from this because there's no manipulation of what has happened. And so for those across different religions, they may call it different things, but it's not even a judgment. A judgment is when you don't know what already happened. So I have him there as many others would not like to see that, okay, because they don't want to have to submit to somebody who, not necessarily the man himself, but the laws. But if this man is upholding this, they don't like that because they want to see us as subservient. So of course I put different figures in the background, angelic wings and different things, but this to give that feel, to give that surreal, larger than life, because the next level is larger than life because it's beyond life as we know it. So that's pretty much how I put things together, and I took my time on it, and I said I got to make up for last week.
Yeah, and like I told you, I knew you would. A lot of times because you're so busy, I sent it earlier this week.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I know it actually helps. And I'm looking at it, and I see it. A lot of times when I wait to see the banner, I know that the energy now is connected, because at the quantum level, then you have, what you call the superposition. And if that particle that is in the superposition, wherever that other particle is anywhere in the universe, it's going to be parallel. So if I'm right, then automatically that other particle is going to be left.
Yes.
So you don't get anything stronger than that positive and negative connection, right? And a lot of times, kind of put this thought together, you could have a live wire that's on fire in a car. Okay, I mean a literal live that's juiced up. But if you don't have a ground wire, that battery is not going to charge.
You're right.
And so yeah, these are what I was looking at. I wanted to ask you about the hall back there, because actually one of the names it's conceptualized as a like a sort of like a library, right?
Right.
Energy library or information cosmic library.
Right.
But the Egyptians actually called it the Hall of Records. So
yes.
I was wondering what your thinking was on that.
Well, again, they may call it that, but from what I learned, and maybe I'm wrong, but they said that it's nothing physical, but
it's nothing
to bring
exactly
something physical, because that's the way that some of us only can really understand it. But I made a physical manifestation of it, and this way you have all the planets and everything, and to make it feel what it really is. But it is everything recorded. It just so happens that it's not a physical space, it's like things in the cloud, basically. And it's untouched by any manipulation of man to change things around. It can't be negotiated. It can't be manipulated. Everything is authentic from what I've learned.
Manipulated.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I don't worry about when they talk about erasing Black history. That's impossible, because you don't control that. Our people control that, not you.
That's right.
People with you melanin. Well, thank you, brother. That I tell you, that banner really kind of set things in motion, because we know every time we go into a new year, we're looking at a situation where not just from a cosmic perspective, but also the counterfeit spirits that seek to block us and block this energy, they're going to come up with new ways to stifle us.
Yep.
So I want to start out with the picture I sent you of the Akashic record, that energy field I sent you.
Okay, yeah,
And what I
yeah,
want
this
to
is it.
do is, yeah, thank you. So
Mm-hmm.
what I want to do is we're going to talk about and discuss this because it's very important to get a clear comprehension and understanding of what it is we're talking about today. It's also something that's always been here. It's eternal. It's always been within us. But this helps to explain one of the reasons out of several reasons that they seek so hard to put a spin on things and give you a different narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you become aware of what this is and who you are and your soul capacity, then there is no power greater to stop that. So that's one of the reasons why there's so many psychological games that are played. But let's talk about the Akasha, or the Akashic Records. America on Trial, and the opening in 2026 of the Akashic Records. Now, first, I just want to explain that when we're talking about opening things, and this is why the English language can be kind of deceiving because it's not connected to our spiritual understanding of things. So it's more practical. But when you think about opening, I'm really referring to our ancient concept of the first eye, or the open pineal gland, or the inner eye, the spirit eye, where we are now just remembering. Because again, the energy never dies, it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
But those that consult mediums and other type of psychic energy to combat your energy, they know these things. They consult with these people every day. See, these a lot while they got our people doing this, they're consulting with these people every day on how to block us. And
Mm-hmm.
they'll use immigrants, they'll use these childish beefs that we have going on. Look, let me tell you something. People, if you have melanin, you're connected to everybody, black person, no matter where they are. So you can call yourself a TDA, or SWP, or whatever you want to call yourself. If you are a son, child of the sun, then you are connected to the energy field that we're talking about today. Now, this, as we mentioned, this knowledge first originated out of African spirituality. Okay, this is the first concept of this, and you can look throughout West Africa, you can look throughout Ethiopia, you can look throughout Central and South Africa, and you can see this. Okay, because the rhythm of the universe through nature was something that we connected to. And again, this is what we lived by. We didn't live according to how we live now, according to ICE theology. Okay, so like I was telling Lance, long before this Sanskrit language naming of this energy force, because you know they're not going to give our people credit for this. But be that as it may, we're going to just discuss the important aspect of this. So Akasha is an Indian term in the Sanskrit language that refers to ether, sky, spirit, or space. So we know this energy, cosmic intelligence, is a blueprint behind what we know as reality. Okay, it exists beyond time and space, and it's a spiritual database. They are not a physical book, like Lance was saying. It's actually an electrical field that stores every thought, every action, every emotion, and even intentions, motivations. That's why you have to be careful about the motivations that you have, and who, more importantly, who is fueling these motivations or intentions. Every thought, action, emotion, and intentions ever done in the universe. Now think about that for a minute. See, this type of power is beyond what we have been taught here. And the reason why we're focusing on America is because this land has a very significant spiritual source, okay, for a reason. And we know when we go through some of the visuals, we're going to talk about the things that happen in each aspect of when these lands were first invaded. And we have a recording of these movements through the five main elements. We have it through the sun. The sun has always been up. The sun has always seen how they moved when they first came into our lands. The moon and stars the moon at night recorded it. The stars recorded it. Okay. And also the Ethiopic Ocean, which they changed to the Atlantic Ocean, has memory in it from the millions of Africans that died through the Middle Passage. And it also has the memory of our people here on Turtle Island, okay, whose blood, over 55 million slaughtered, is in the soil here. So if you want to think of it like the witnesses, that's who our primary witnesses are today. Okay, so it's actually has recorded everything but what you know as the past, the present, and the potential future. Again, it's a vibrational record. Okay, it's a vibrational record which all cultures were aware for thousands of years, okay, of this cosmic consciousness of the universe. And it's actually thought of as the fifth element beyond earth, beyond water, beyond fire and air. So it's an invisible expression of divine essence. It existed in all cultures and civilizations in antiquity, as I was mentioning, just different language and different ways of expressing it through symbiology and images. That's why the images we worship are so important. But everyone knew that it was a divine intelligence, okay, in ancient times. This is the other reason why when the colonizers came to America, they looked at these type of things. Like we always talk about, they studied us very thoroughly. I give them credit for that. And so they knew these things. One of the things I often, when I ask people about this, I'm shocked that they don't know. But then again, I'm not shocked because I know the effective job they did. But the Angonian tribe of Indians that were here, that they were able to convince them more than the other tribes. I don't know why. I wasn't here. But the first Bible printed in America was printed after the language of that tribe. You can look it up if you want to. So we have to look at a situation that from the very beginning, that there was an understanding that they had to do something that would actually brainwash or change the natural ways in which you live. Again, we talked about there are several civilizations and cultures that existed that actually were aware of this power in this energy field. The Hebrews called it the book of life. The Egyptians, as we mentioned earlier, or the Kemites called it the hall of records. In Islam, it's referred to as the preserved tablets. So it's a spiritual energy field that exists beyond our conscious experiences. And you must become aware. This is why, again, anytime there's something that you become aware of, trust and believe they're going to demonize the concept, why they demonize the word woke. Because they are aware that your pineal gland is open. Okay, but because they have a calcified pineal gland and are not connected to this energy, and their chakras are not connected to it, then they know that they're going to demonize every single thing that you do and believe in. Again, it's a spiritual energy field that exists beyond our conscious experiences. And you can access this field by remembering your genetic memory bank. Again, this is not something that you learn in a book. You are higher than this. We're talking the difference between caterpillar. That's why when they try to make our people seem like when we don't know things about their language that and their mores that they live every day, and then we have to take tests to prove against you, I guarantee you, it's like when the psychologists came up with the bitch test, 80% of white students failed. Okay. The highest number of people that came closest to us were Latinos or Hispanics, rather, because a lot of them had lived amongst us in that sense. They shared our culture, at least on the East Coast. I don't know about out here.
Right.
They were, I think they were fighting, fight against each other because you got a major country, actually on the same land mass as North America.
Right.
So they use all of these things, even though we know that in ancient Mexico, we already know about the Olmecs. All right. We already know the fact that the Los Angeles was founded by the Black Mexicans, who they have in Southern California. And that's a whole different history. But the point I'm trying to bring up is that they'll throw anything at you, like they have our people fighting over something that we need to have our focus on something else, okay? They have us fighting over trivial things while these people are making chess moves. Now, I give our people credit. What we did during the holidays is fantastic, but they're angry at you. They're angry that you're woke. Okay, trust and believe that. These major corporations who have been the parasites on our people from all cultures that have built their generations off of Black people's wealth here in this country. So the other problem is that not only are they angry, but they're going to make sure that you don't come together economically to benefit from what they're stealing, the resources they're stealing from other countries. You're not going to benefit from that. Okay. So we have to be realistic about this, and we have to come up with, I don't have all the answers. I'm just putting out there what was given to me to talk to our people about and what we need to be focused on instead of, battling against each other over things that's not going to help us at all. You access this field by remembering through your genetic memory bank, not just what you have experienced, but what you are becoming. Because your purpose is not who you are, your title, or none of that. And it's not something you invent, okay? It's just something that your soul remembers. See, the other problem is that other people define what our purposes are. Okay, We have to.
True.
That's one of the reasons why the Akashic Records is open now, is because you all over the world, your mind is opening up, but particularly here on Turtle Island, completely open. So now there is no force greater than you, but to tie you back down to materialism. Okay, if they can do that, then that's how they keep grasping at straws. Well, what are Black people angry at now? This is why when you have low natural IQ people, they look for things to affect you emotionally. That caterpillar, because the caterpillar got to survive any kind of way it can.
That's right.
You remember in the summer times, cars running over, people stepping on them, people burning. We used to burn the caterpillar well out of the trees. So the thing is you have to start now looking through the eyes of real nature and through the eyes of spiritual consciousness, which we know the Akashic Records represent. So the point is that's why when you hear people saying they discovered something or invent, that's impossible for you to discover anything. You might have discovered that you got a brain.
Right.
Or you might have discovered that you have the power to create your own destiny and environment, and it ain't always based on fiat. See, that's what you get wrong too. Because real wealth is in the abundance of the things that you help to bring about real change and substance. Right. Not only in your life, but the lives of everybody connected to you, whoever that may be. So we have a lot of unlearning to do. And most of it centers around, again, remembering who we are. The soul remembers right now, we're remembering the inhumane treatment of our ancestors, which we're going to talk about today because it's necessary. And I was telling you, Lance, I looked at Rosewood last night and said, I like to immerse myself emotionally into what, I don't want to say like actors and actresses, but this is something that they do. Like one of my favorites, Denzel. Mm-hmm. When you see that movie he did with Malcolm X, it's mind blowing.
It is. He channeled him.
He challenged him. Or what's his name? Jamie Foxx and Ray Charles.
Yeah. What's that, man? For real.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about. See, your real soul is like it's always there. So just like when I listen to people saying people sold their souls, what they're really saying is they sold their purpose, who they are, not some fictional, some devil with horns and a pitch coming to get you.
I know.
About that. I'm talking about you sold your purpose. You sold out your people. You sold out because, again, Black men are natural leaders, okay? And so are Black women. But because you are an extension of this field. You are the only ones that have a wide open pineal gland potential. Okay, you must now be a part of opening this. So when we talk about manifesting it here, this is where the opening of the Akashic Records comes into place, where you saw the brother Lance had up there looking into a book. So when we think about manifestations of knowledge, we think about books, right? But this is something beyond what any written book has ever had in it. Okay, the other thing too is that the highest knowledge is not learned in books. It is recalled. Yes. Lance, you can actually, your banner is probably better for this actually. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So the highest knowledge is not learned in books. I want that to sink in. Okay, because again, here is actually I'm gonna call it what it is. It's a trick. For us, it's a trick. This is why we're the only people who can pass down an oral tradition with 1/3 of the documents that the Europeans, that's why they keep records, so they can physically pass this down. Where we have failed is we have actually replaced things that are part of our culture, like Yeshua, with other things. This is where we have to take accountability, because we can't escape this, okay? Because we can't take the posture of a child whose parent has abandoned them, and we can't get angry at our people for speaking truth to us, okay? And I know that's why a lot of people don't like Lance, but the fact of the matter is that we have to move beyond this now, okay? Because there's something they're planning that you don't know about, okay? And I thought back to when I first encountered Dr. Leola Africa, and he was talking about the fact that they have these meetings every year where they have professionals from all walks of life and all industries. They're studying melanin and its effect on people, okay? Because we have to face this directly in the face, and we're going to do that today. So there may be some raw emotions. I don't know. That's beyond me worrying about. But it's not.
That's right.
Your highest knowledge is not learned in books. I don't care how many books you've read. Okay. Now, if you're writing books to open people's minds, that's a good thing, because we do have to keep physical records. Now, we did at one time, but they burnt down Timbuktu. This is the other reason why, again, we have to really look at this stuff. I don't care if they tell you, oh, that's the past. No, it's not. Okay, the Akashic Records, there's no past, present, or linear time and space like you have been taught. Okay, it's just transitional energy. So whoever takes that energy and uses it, then they're going to have the power to change things. Okay. It does not favor any one class, such as the parasitic elite. It just exists until you remember it. And this is why you are judged by their narratives and their IQ, as I was speaking about earlier. So when the Black psychologists put a moratorium on standardized testing, saying, hey, look, this is not, this doesn't explain the IQ or express the IQ of our children, because the testing items are germane to your culture. So the reasons why Asians do so well, because they live in your culture. They used to. Now they live amongst Black folks because they set up all their businesses and shops in our business. So they follow the money. But initially, the first generations of them, they lived amongst white people. They only had their businesses in our community. So now that our people are fully aware of this, then now, and using it, not just aware of it, but using it, then now we see a different scenario playing out. But yeah, we can't judge. I'll give you a testing item that was on the bitch test that they said 95% white people fail, or white children fail. It was, they asked them what was a square. They just left it at, what's a square? Okay. And this is the Black intelligence test for children, or the bitch test, right? Which was phenomenal. Because they kept saying our kids were scoring low on their standardized tests. Okay. All right. So what is a square? The majority of white kids do a square box. Some of the, I forget the number of Hispanic kids during that time. And it was, who else? I think that was it. that actually, yeah, that was it. That actually got that right. You know, and almost 100% of black kids knew if you're a square, you ain't hip. And I thought at the time, you don't know what's going on. You've been bamboozled or hoodwinked. So in our culture, it meant something totally different. So after they had to admit, okay, that is true, the testing items are germane to our culture, then maybe we're going to change the standard for this. And so then you start seeing, even though you had black kids scoring high on the ones before they changed it,
Mm-hmm.
to you know, be culturally inclusive. And so in education, and I know because I always got penalized for this, and whenever you point out the fact that our kids are kinesthetic learners, that they don't need to follow no instruction, well, they get angry at the kids and then they'll fail them because they didn't follow their methodology. Well, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to follow your methodology. And what's important is coming to the conclusion or answers of something. Also, our visionaries, our sages, our mystics were able to see into the light and our griots of this energy field and remember. Okay, a few more things about this. That it's also truth in its purest form. Okay, it's not a written language. Okay, it's not a written language, but it's memories of the soul. This is why I like the book Souls of Black Folks. That's a good book to actually read. And so this is why, again, by us remembering things now, we're able to actually, it's almost like you see after somebody has actually suckered you for so long and you look at, oh, you thought I was a sucker, huh? You did, you know, you've been playing me all this time, but now I see you. That's sort of what it's like a deja vu type thing. Also, it's a vibrational energy. It is the primal source of all energy. It is the primordial energy field that you're connected to. And it is the origin of all thought. And it is a flow of timeless energy that transcends all things. And one of the reasons we're able to bring it, this is another reason why they fight this, use this frequency with our young people as our own, you know, I don't even like to think about it. But anyway, it's good to listen to the music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s too.
Yes, indeed.
Because, yeah, you know, because music, dance, drums, they materialize this energy. And so they know this. They know that the spoken word is part of the elements of universal expression. So once something is spoken, then it carries a whole different energy itself that you can't control where that energy goes.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a flow of timeless energy, and it's expressed through music, dance, drums, and it materializes this energy. Now, as we said earlier, all cultures through their symbiology, Druids, Egyptians, Mayans, the Indians, and Kemet, Ethiopia, all had names, the Yoruba in West Africa, the Dogon, who were the first ones to actually, some of the first ones to actually, or the first ones, because actually this knowledge goes, I found there was a group of people that actually worship this intelligence called Ebewak. It's a 40,000-year-old, what we know today as a religion. It was really a spiritual concept like what we're talking about today that actually came from this concept that they later named the Akashic Records. Because you know they ain't gonna give black folks, particularly what they like to try to demonize about sub-Saharan Africa, like that. Believe it, brother, that knowledge that came out of ancient Kush, okay, and Punt, still we haven't fully opened that up yet. The knowledge that came here out of Turtle Island, okay, we still have not really, because they have disconnected our people from this knowledge. Okay, and a few more things before we actually get into the visuals.
Yes.
Is let me see here. Okay, so all of them had a name for it in their own language and symbiology and images. And it is an invisible domain that is the foundational frequency of all things. So this is why, this one, that institutions of indoctrination, such as education, universities, politics, public high schools, and religion, they dismiss this truth because then it would mean that you possess the power to tap into this field without any outside intervention or savior. And this is would allow you to take back your life and your own powers. And finally, it's a soul memory, or actually soul memory, which our people practice on the plantations that they beat out of them. That's why, our people get angry when we say this, is that they had to beat that out of them. So there was, I remember Malcolm talking about one time that there was I'm looking for the right concept. Maybe some people in the chat, or Lance, you could help me with this. It was it buck breaking? Yeah, I think so. Because before they brought them here to America, or the people that would be slaves, they actually beat them on the Caribbean islands.
Yeah.
Jamaica, Haiti. They would do things like take a whip and slash a pregnant woman's baby out, and then step on the head and smash it in front of you. And then they would tie up, they'd take the biggest buck they could find, tie each limb to 4 different horses, and shoot a 30-06 or whatever they was using at the time. And here you split this man in half in front. Now, this type of fear, our people have never seen. Okay.
Of course. Let me just interject. I found out in my own little studies and running across certain things that while it was all over the Caribbean, Jamaica was basically the main place. Yeah. And deep in my thoughts, if anybody really has come in contact, and it's not a one-size-fits-all thing, but some of the younger Jamaicans, and I mean not 70s and 80s, but those who are in the 40s and 30s and those who are kind of hip and out there, I notice as a culture that Jamaican men always have an issue with manhood.
Okay.
I've noticed that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like their manhood and respect, and it's something to me that is an ancestral type of interference and hunger through buck breaking. You know what I mean? It's like they can still feel those vibrations, and in this present day, you're not going to disrespect me because I'm a man. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
I got you.
See, it's they're big on respect and defending their manhood. You see what I mean? So to me, there's a correlation with that. There's something direct with that, especially since that, and with the whole sexual thing. It wasn't just buck breaking, it was humiliation, doing things to them in their orifices. Yeah. And that was a hush-hush thing. But, we have an oral history, and these are some of the things that also, it may be in whispers that were passed down. Yeah. And the vibration also. So you have a lot of them that are hung up on their manhood. Like, you better not disrespect me in front of anybody, whatever, and you tick them off. Not all.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, but I noticed that,
This pseudo manhood, like,
they're very touchy with it.
Toughness, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that comes from that. Huh, that's interesting.
I
But
wrote an
true,
article
can
on
see
that. I forgot where it is, but I try to find it. But that's something
Okay.
that I definitely saw. Because my father, when he was here on his plane, he's from Jamaica, but he was born in
Right.
1916. So he didn't come up in the commercialized time with the music and the things that most people now associate with it, because at one point it wasn't a mainstream thing. Oh, you're from Jamaica. Okay, you're from the Caribbean. That's it. But
Right.
when the music and Bob Marley and all, then the awareness, and then all of a sudden, unfortunately, when many in New York, especially
Yeah.
in Jamaica, men got in the crack, it
Go ahead, man.
amplified the viciousness. Yeah, the viciousness that many had in their heart, being accepted and not being challenged, and that mixed in with that. I'm not saying
Yeah.
all did that,
Yeah.
but I know in New York City, it's a time when I was driving the dollar van in the street after work, and I was driving with a lot of Jamaicans. And I always knew a lot of Jamaicans, but many, like, you don't disrespect them, or they'll puff up, even if they're not
Oh yeah.
quite adept at defending themselves physically. Some are, but that's where you get the mouth going on and very little actual, okay, let's knuckle up and let's do something. You see what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
and that's a good point, because I never really thought about that.
Yeah. They'll come out very, very aggressive verbally, and like the peacock spreading its wings, boom, cloud, blah, 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 blah. But
Yeah.
that's talk. I'm
Yeah.
not dissing, right?
Yeah.
But I've gotten to certain confrontations with many, and they didn't really want to do anything. It was just,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can even see that energy with black men, like they call it, or you got smoke for this, or you got smoke for that. But it doesn't matter. And like you, I've lived in a lot of different places, right? A lot of different cities. It's usually the black men in that city that's going to challenge you. Where are you from, man?
Yeah.
This type of stuff. And so
Right.
it's good, even though now it's a lot of, a lot of different cultures do that now. It's just something that, like you said,
Right.
comes from
Right.
that. But at the end of the day, it's something that's important for us to look at and examine and not be ashamed of it, because these were things that were perpetrated on us. This was an evil that was, it's not like you can't hold somebody responsible for their reactions to something that was forced on them. Sort of like a female getting, I can't use the word, but you know what I mean.
Violated, yeah.
Violated, yeah. But it's that soul memory that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And indigenous people, as a result of, what happened to them by the colonizers, they basically, your purpose was severed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this is why with many of the reservations, they'll call.
Yeah.
The condition was purpose away from them, and their destiny was to do as men and the whole society. You have the alcoholism, you have the domestic violence. When you can't manifest who you are and be who you're supposed to be, that energy turns inward, and it's not positive because it's a frustration.
It's frustration
that you have, that you're not able to do what it is that you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's like a track star going to another track meet that he's not in, but he's watching his future competitors run around the track. And so he knows this quite well, and he's preparing to go up against these guys, but he goes home that night after seeing his competitors he's going to run against next week, and he can't sleep at night because his mind is zoomed in on that. So these men who are stripped of their manhood and put reservations, and they'll get a check, but getting a check and earning it and being it is different. Like me, I'm retired. I get a little something, but I got to do something with my time. I can't say,
Right.
well, I'm just going to sit here and drink a little liquor, smoke a joint, and just
Right.
whatever. No, I got to do something more.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I gotta manifest something and get better. I'll die.
Yeah. And whatever you're doing,
Comfort is
make
death.
sure that doesn't
You see?
that doesn't stifle you from walking in purpose.
Right. Oh no, they're not gonna stop that. You
Right.
can give
No,
me
I
$1
mean,
million
not you.
right now, and I'm still gonna do.
Oh yeah, not you. I'm just saying people in
Right. No,
general.
I know
Yeah.
what you mean.
But well, yeah, I mean, it's clear, brother, that you are going to continue to fight, you know, and move ahead with what your purpose is. But we can see, you know what, along with what we're talking about right now, let's look at the first visual, Lance, the one with the lynching with the and I know they're small thumbnails, but yeah. I told you last night I watched Rosewood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I really watched it because a lot of times, you know, I might watch if I really want to. Sometimes I just put on movies like I like thrillers and stuff, horror and stuff like that,
Right.
just to entertain me, right?
Right.
But when walking in a purpose, you know, connected with you and the family, then I make sure that I get the emotional aspect of it before I actually start writing. And boy, let me tell you, that was the thing about this was, and there's a book called The Delectable Negro, or Without Sanctuary.
I heard of that.
Yeah, and when you look at the fact that this was all started by a white woman making up a lie about a big black ninja that SA'd her. You see, I'm learning how to be politically correct. but yeah. So the thing that got me was the white men in that little town. They had a certain attitude that came out of slavery where we control your bodies. So we can do whatever we want to your bodies. We can cut your ears off. We can cut the other things off. We can do whatever we want to do. And we have a right to do it. We can shoot in the churches. We know that children are in those churches. We can bomb the churches with the 4 little girls. We can have the Slocum Massacre, the East St. Louis Massacre. We can unalive you and do all these things and not be held accountable for it. That's just the way that, and I really saw this. I was like, man. So when we look at the Akashic Records, this is all recorded. It's recorded again through the sun, through the moon and stars. Okay, at night, the things that they did in the day is recorded. And we'll talk about when they crossed the ocean, that was recorded on the water. And also it's recorded primarily in the trees. Strange Fruit by Billie Holiday. It's recorded most of all in the soil. Okay. And the blood of our ancestors are crying out from the soil right now. And the Akashic Records has all of this memory in this electrical field. And this is another reason why I should have had our, you know, the pitch I like with the spirits in the trees and our people sitting around, because now this energy is coming back into remembrance of our people through the Akashic Records. The other one I want to show is the one from a show we did with how they did our women.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is recorded as well in the Akashic Records. Yes. The Medical Foundation of America, and I'll dispute anybody on this when it comes to gynecology, okay, or self-surgery, or several types of disciplines within the medical field. Our women is the foundation of this.
Guinea
we
pigs.
Have this on record, huh?
Guinea pigs, basically.
Guinea pigs, yeah. Guinea pigs.
Yeah.
We have this on record. It's recorded in the Akashic field. We know this happened. We have pictures. I've seen at least 100 pictures of this. So when you look at this and you say America is on trial, we're saying, okay, you want to erase divine consciousness.
Yeah.
Not only that, we know you can't do it, but not only that, you want to erase the inhumane behavior. Never. Like I said, I can turn on the TV at any time and see 300 or, movies about conquests, European conquests in different parts of the world. So you're telling me that our people can't go back and look at the source of where we are right now? Mm-hmm. You don't teach it in your universities. They had statues of one of these monsters that was in Central Park. No, well, yeah, one of them was there, and then one was in Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And they eventually took it down.
Yeah.
Because he was in the halls of Congress, I think, one of them. But again, the reason why it's important to revisit this and look at this is because it's activating the Akashic Records. And it's also making us realize that everything that America has, all of this intelligence, while people are talking about people with low IQ, this is what Chat GPT and these other forms of artificial intelligence, all they're doing is reading the record, the energy field. This is not some intelligence that, they try to make you think, we created. No, you didn't. Mm-mm. All they're doing is using artificial intelligence, because if you don't have an open pineal gland, you can't access it. I don't care what they say. So you create something that's already in the energy field. You didn't create it, but you discover it, right? Or even discover is not good. For some kind of way, through looking and studying our people, you knew that this field exists. Okay? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There is no human explanation for this type of demonology right here. There's none. So, in effect, this helps our people recognize, now that you're woke, really woke, that their greatest interpretation, that's a good word. Thank you, creators. Their greatest interpretation of what we have and what's in this Akashic record has to come through some kind of contact with you, whether it's cutting you open or gutting you like a pig, okay? Mm-hmm. Or studying the effects of eumelanin. Whatever they have to do, or studying genetics, dominant and recessive, then they have to get that information from you. This is why when you're silent, it's a problem for them. Okay, now that you know you need to keep your mouth shut about, stop telling everything on YouTube or wherever you're doing it, unless you're speaking power to a situation.
Right.
Stop telling these counterfeit spirits and these vampires what you're doing. This is how they block us. They don't have, see, the other thing is with surveillance, where they use these, where they use Wi-Fi and the iCloud and all these other ways of of tracking you. This is what they learn through this artificial intelligence and this Akashic record field that exists. All right, my brother, you know what? I want to start with that picture when Christopher Columbus and the boys, well, actually not Christopher Columbus, but the conquistadors. I believe that was, what's his name?
Let me find it. I might pull up the wrong one.
Okay, yes.
That's it?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Cortez, I believe. So again, we have this record because they traveled on the ocean. That's part of the Akashic record. The sun recorded them in the daytime, and the moon and the stars recorded them at night. So I don't care what you say, this lives in the elements or this great power that's beyond your comprehension. So you can put what kind of spin or narratives in these books you write, that don't mean nothing. Okay. And that is the basis of white supremacy. Okay. But let's talk about, there were, and see, anytime you hear these figures, you got to double it. Okay. Because what they're doing is they're trying to minimalize, okay, the actual evil that was done to our people. Mm-hmm. 55 million is a lot. Look, 55 million of blood in the soil of the primordial seed. Brother, that's coming, that's manifesting right now. So you can say what you want, but this manifestation is going to be so great in 2026 that they're going to have to kneel down before this power, which is you. Okay. The house of cards is going to come tumbling down. So they cannot deny this. We know prior to them coming to our lands, we were a spiritual people. You know, we lived off the land, we lived off of spirituality, you know, and we connected with the elements. But when they came and changed all of that, and a good book to read is Things Fall Apart, when it talks about when they went into Kibalon and did this. But it's the actual same playbook that they were effective when they went to, you know, different islands, and when they got lost or whatever. This was an effective playbook. Okay, my brother, let's see. Let's talk about the economic foundation, where we see our people in the cotton fields. Now, you may or may not know this. Most Black folks know this. People that's coming from other countries or whatever, they do not know this history because they think, yes, thank you, brother. They actually think that Europeans produce this enormous $1 trillion juggernaut. No, it was our people in Jamaica, in Haiti, in Mississippi, in Carolina, in Georgia, in Alabama that produced this. South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, I can go on and on. New York, Virginia, Baltimore. You can go all around the country. But primarily there were 13 states that our people produced the greatest wealth that had ever been produced by people working the land. Okay. For them. Of course, we know Mansa Musa was the greatest. But when you talk about, and see, this is what foreigners don't get. Okay. when you start studying the real history, and this is in the Akashic Records as well, and that's why we know from in the Akashic Records, we know that every thought that our people had to go through, okay, every experience, okay, every evil intentions against our people, the fact that they wanted to subdue our people into a subhuman class to elevate themselves, while at the same time, they're in the sun for 16 hours a day from can't see morning till can't see night. They have produced this for you, and you turn right around and destroy our people and refuse to compensate for 350 100 years. Okay, let's say that again. You refuse to compensate our people, who are the economic foundation of what you, your ancestors, and the children of the colonizers enjoy today. I don't care what they teach you. But yet, there are no, and have the nerve to try to erase this. You can never erase what our ancestors have done. Never. This is in the Akashic Records. Okay. This is another reason why America is on trial now. You had the opportunity to do the right thing, as they say. Okay. You had this opportunity. It's too late now, because you have given over that vortex that was open. But now, if you want to switch to that picture of the anti-Black God while we wrap this up and talk about what we are seeing today, brother. That one from a show we did with the rope and the anti-Black God. Yeah. The anti-Black bigoted God of America. You chose this route. You've always known that our people, because white people have a sense of intelligence in their own way. They know right from wrong, but they made a choice. And this is why when this was given to you to do the right thing, you rejected, okay, divine laws. And there's a price to pay for that. Just like if I go out here today and I shoot somebody, I'm gonna end up in prison. Right or wrong. And this is by man's law, a lower law. So what do you think? Where do you think this spiritual law came from? But because you chose, after all the things that Black folks have done, okay, you chose not only this anti-Black bigoted God to use and manifest against our people, but every single culture that came to the Americas, Black people are lazy, they're criminals. You know, they don't care about their families. They're this, they're that, you know. When we know in every statistic in this country involving things that are morally wrong, hands down, we know who that is. Okay, so finally, the reason why it's actually the best time for us right now. You can, when I say sit back, I don't mean not doing anything. I'm saying now you see, you don't have to get out here in the streets and get out here and fighting with these people over no. Let them do what they're going to do. Okay. Let them do what they're going to do, because now the elements who were the primary witnesses in the Akashic Records, the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, the ocean, they're under the control of the Netaru right now. So there is nothing that can stop. There are no bombs. There is no energy field you have that can stop this great power. And I think with that, I'll end today, brother.
Yes, brother. Awesome teaching, and it opened my eyes to a lot. And
Yeah.
this is kind of like an infinite thing. It's very interesting,
Yeah.
in a different slant on what people understand things to be. Because I like to, I'll explain it quick. I remember back in the day when I would buy CDs at some of these places, the music stores in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
The CDs first came out, and I would say, okay, I'm going to budget for 3 CDs, right? Depending on the price. So I'd pick the 3 CDs that I wanted, but I would still look. And if anything could beat that, those 3, one of the 3, I said, okay, this is worth more than I'll take one out, I'll put one in. So what I'm saying is that we're not saying to switch up, just incorporate what you learned today into what you already feel, because your evolution, again, like we said, it's not going to come from just a book. You really got to be connected to the source. And we can call the source different things. And to me, religion is a crutch until we can get on our feet spiritually and see things what it really is, because it's like saying there's different types of oxygen, different types of air. We all breathe the same air. That's one thing that's universal. You go to a country and they say, don't drink the water, but you can go breathe the air as long as it's clean. So that's the way it is with spirituality. We put our own slants and cultural, and that's cool to do that. But as you ascend, you'll see over that. You'll understand it's a unifying force for all of us. And the truth is the truth, and you can't alter it no matter how you say you see it. You know, so thank you, brother.
Yeah,
thank
absolutely,
you so much.
brother. It's just so much we can do with this. And, the main thing is that now we can't be suckered anymore. You can't buy my love, or you can't buy my, no.
Right.
No. We need to look at truth, and we need to look at what we're going to do with this truth. And we need to look at the fact is that we don't need anyone else. Well, first of all, they can't do it.
Right.
Okay. So once you decide that other Black people, yes, great banner, brother. I'm going to be looking at that for a long time. Because it's a message in that in itself. Yeah. And see, once we go to this frequency right here, it'll eliminate a lot of the pain that our people go through, trying to live up to what they call IQ, or you being and not having knowledge and intelligence. No, wisdom is the greatest level. And that's based on intuition. And that's based on your spiritual or first eye that's in this cloud in the etheric realm. So peace and love to you, brother, and the family.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Keep holding on to the belts.
Oh, we ain't never letting those go.
Okay. And
thank you so much, brother.
Yes, sir. Look forward to talking to you again next week in the family.
Yeah, as soon as you send me the stuff and we get it on up so it can hang out there so people can know what's coming. But thank you, brother.
Okay, man. Take
care. Right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Yes. This is definitely a regular fellowship that I truly enjoy. And when you see how people can work together for the greater good, you see the momentum and the accumulation of that good feeling that Brother Neil Frazier is out there in the world and aware and catching his downloads and sharing stuff with us. And this is how we're all supposed to share. It may not all be in the same exact way. You have a person who may be a lecturer, a person who may be an artist and they paint or draw things to teach you or to share. But I think it's imperative for us to gather up all the perspectives that we possibly can get our hands on. It doesn't mean that everybody is right, but all I say is just take the good and leave what doesn't work for you. When you go to the supermarket to go shopping, you don't buy every single item. You take what's good for you and you leave what you don't need. And this is something that I think many of us are so distracted, we find hard to do because we are made to feel that there's just this one way of seeing things and that everything in that one way is right and we must reject everything else. You know, you can't go on the highway and drive one speed. You can't go on the highway and go 100 miles an hour. Yes, you can, but try going 100 miles an hour when you hit the exit and have to turn. And you better slow down. You know, different times of the day, food is good. But there's certain times you need different components more so of certain nutrition, more others, right? Because your body needs energy more so more times, so you're going to have a different component, maybe some carbohydrates more than anything else, your proteins toward the end of the day. It doesn't create an energy spike or sugar spike. So you have to know how to commandeer and juggle, not just food, that was just an example, but the many components of our life. Emotional control. That I'm big on that. Because if you lose it emotionally, you can blow all progress in your life. This is why many of us are in prison or on lockdown, because we couldn't control our emotions. You see, there have been times in my life I've really had to control my emotions, and I've told several stories in my past, really and truly, where you got to get a grip and say, you know what? I'm not going to let this particular situation ruin my future because it's emotionally overwhelming. You see? And I know about that. I know about that. Not that you don't feel it, but we're being provoked these days. Social media we consume, and we feel we're in control because we choose what we click on, but then we're led lots of times with what's put in the algorithms for us to get emotional and smear our view on how we see the world and influence our view. You know, if you take a paper, and let's just speak on an American political level, you take a newspaper or take two newspapers and have them report on the same story. They may get the basic facts in there, but if it's a Republican newspaper speaking on a Democratic candidate, there's going to be a lot of smears going on there. They're all in the same bed with each other, but the whole thing of you having an either or choice, and we have the debates and those things are stimulated on TV and we get caught up in it. No different than a boxing match with two boxers. You like one over the other and you want that one to win, and you get in debates, or baseball, football, soccer, you know, we get caught up in those things. But we have to turn that energy around on ourselves and say, okay, let me disengage from this. What is it that I can do for myself, or who can I connect with that has a vision that we're not just spinning our wheels on the pavement and getting nowhere, but we're getting somewhere in our life? You see what I mean? Thanks. But this is what we have to do. We're drawn out of ourselves. And if you get drawn out of yourself, even for a second, you can cascade down to nothingness in your personal mission. It's like that little thread that's hanging on a suit. You don't clip it, tie it up, probably put a match to it and make it just knot up where it's not going to come out anymore. That could be the end of your suit in a couple of days, because it will unravel. We got to plug up all the energy leaks in our life and make sure that everything is moving forward. And when you choose to relax, sure, relax. I relax every day. I'm thinking about even relaxing now tonight, calling it a night, because I was ready to do something else. But if I get up earlier tomorrow, I can do more because my energy will be fresh. So I'll see. I mean, set something up and start my day early tomorrow, which I'm 5 hours ahead of the East Coast. So right now for me, it's 9:20. Over there in the East Coast, it's 420. And over on the West Coast, what is it? 120. So it's high up in the day over there. So I have to look at what I have in my tank and listen to what's told to me on the divine level. No, I don't hear voices, but I catch feelings. I sense things, being guided. And that's how we're all connected. Believe it or not. You can call it what you want, but we're all connected on that certain level. And we can feel the energies around us and where not to go, what to do, when to pull back, when to be more aggressive. It's like the other day, I said I was going to stay in, but something kept egging me on to go down to an area that they call the atomic area. It has nothing to do with atomic or nuclear or anything, right? It's an area called atomic. That's how they say, let me say street or whatever. And just go down to atomic, check out this store, go down to atomic, check out this store. Well, I got up, took my time, made some content, took the van down all the way down into Accra, and went to Atomic, and went to this store that they renovated. And I had filled my shopping cart with a few items. And when I saw the lines in that place, it's the size of a Walmart. The lines went halfway into the store, down the aisles. And I said, okay, I know why I came here, to see the things that I needed, to make a checklist of, okay, I zigzagged every aisle. I pushed that carton, and I left. It was awesome. I took my time and walked up. I walked miles. That's why I said the other day on the video, I had a long walk in the sun. It was very enjoyable, and a lot came to me and gave me clarification. I went to one of the stores, picked up some things, and came back. It wasn't a loss. Now, maybe tomorrow I'll go extra early. I'll see. So this is how I live. I listen to the guidance that comes to me, not imagination, but my gut feeling, because we're all connected. See, it's amazing. If I put down a hefty bag, that's not the brand out here in Ghana, but I'll call it a hefty bag, a heavy duty garbage bag. And I put it down, and I have, we have garbage containers here, but I put it down next to the container if the container's full. Out of nowhere, somehow, some way, through this thick bag, you'll see a bunch of ants crawling on it. It's tied up well, but they can't get in. But there's a scent in that thing that's driving them crazy. And these are big ants. A row of 4. In order, walking from so far away. I can open the gate and go down to the road. How did these ants decide? They didn't all decide. Something came to them in nature to find themselves trying to get in that one garbage bag. There's something in there that was important for them. We don't see this, how powerful nature is, but yet we are so caught up in the man-made system, which is disconnected from nature. And no, we're not dumb, I'm not saying that, but we're not as progressive as we could be if we would just sit still and allow these divine signals to come to us on what we need to do. I'm raring to go to create more content tonight, but something is saying, rest yourself tonight. Rest yourself tonight. I'm not going to go against it. I want to, but I'll double up again tomorrow. See? Because everything has got to come from the heart. And you got to be all in with it, but you have to have, I'll say it this way, your creator has to sign off on it. If it's not signed off on, you're on your own. And you're not going to be on your own doing it. When you're locked in, and you got the A-OK, and you feel it in your heart, no matter what it is, as long as it's not hurting anybody, and as long as it's progressive, right? You'll win every single time. When people try to knock you down, if you're not connected, you will fall, right? And may not be able to get up, because there are a lot of people out here who are defeated. But when you're divinely connected, and the forces of the world, whether it's a person, a group, a government, a job, try to knock you down, you might knock down for a second, but you won't be there too long, right? As long as you stay connected. I'm not saying any particular religion or anything. I'm just saying that inner voice where you know it's something beyond you that's helping to guide you. You might be enthusiastic to do something and you hear this voice, you'll feel it say, no, this is not the time. Pull away from this, go this way, go that way, do it this way, do it that way. But we have to be still enough in our spirit to be able to hear above the noise of the world, which will always keep you distracted. You won't know what to do if you keep on listening to this noise of the world and you're not locked in and rolled in. Many people are scrolling, being stimulated. I want this. I want to do that. I want to eat this kind of food. Maybe I should get that kind of outfit. Oh, I'm going to spend this money. I'm going to do that. And people are confused. It's suggesting things to us. You see what I mean? If we just sit still and let the right things come to us, we'll surely be much better off. And so my solitude up here in the mountains has taught me that even more so. I didn't realize how much noise permeated what I thought was something that was impenetrable. Did I say it right? I stuttered. My defense is impenetrable. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. I'm all of those fighters. I'm cut from their cloth. I know you remember that Mike Tyson rant. But yeah, before I go, just want to say that make sure to sign up at LANCESCURVX.com. That's where everything is going to be. You have to sign up with your email address and you'll get everything that we do. I threw up 2 articles the other day, just from the heart. You'll never see them on YouTube, so you have to sign up there for sure. But it's that green, so much for being here, and I'm open for suggestions with titles, and I may research what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, but I'm probably going to sign off because I just found a new way to really amp up the content even more with my strategy, and I'm definitely going to do it. So once again, thank you so much for your support and just your presence. That's really what it's all about. And I love to see how you all get along here, because it's the names here, you all know each other that way. And I like to see that. It gives me a good feel. But anyway, much love to you all. Take care. LANCESCURV out. On to the next one. And once again, Brother Neil, thank you so much for what you do. It takes a lot of research, a lot of reading, a lot of investigating for him to come and drop it like that, even if it's for an hour or two. So always kudos to you, brother, and to all of you here who contribute in the chat room and spread the knowledge. Take care. See you tomorrow. Peace.
I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir, I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head.